everyone, sorry it's Everia. Okay, so I found a website that is called hauntedrooms.co.uk, and on this website there's like different ghost stories and different creepy tales that I've been looking to do. I'm hoping to catch up with days that I missed of the 30 days of Halloween. But yeah, it starts off by saying 5 short ghost stories that will scare the life out of you. When I think about telling ghost stories, I think about sitting around a campfire, roasting marshmallows, telling spooky tales with a torch under my chin, before retiring to my tent for the night. Despite the fact that this isn't an activity I've ever taken part in, ever. It just feels like the perfect way to share a scary story, especially with the sound of the forest rustling around you and the stars overhead. Well, even if you're not in the forest, telling short ghost stories is a brilliant way to pass the time. So I rounded up some of the very, very best ghost stories for adults from around the internet that are sure to give you a fright, past the marshmallows. The first one is called The Puppy in the Basement. It says it was found on Reddit, but doesn't give who the author is or anything like that, so I can't credit them, I'm sorry. But it starts off, The Puppy in the Basement. This short ghost story, found on Reddit, is super creepy. Mummy told me never to go in the basement, but I wanted to see what was making that noise. It sounded like a puppy, and I wanted to see the puppy. So, I opened the basement door and tiptoed down a bit. I didn't see a puppy, but then Mummy yanked me out of the basement and yelled at me. Mummy had never yelled at me before, and it made me sad, and I cried. Then Mummy told me never to go in the basement again, and she gave me a cookie. That made me feel better, so I didn't ask her why the boy in the basement was making noises like a puppy, or why he had no hands or feet. Oh, that one is creepy. I was going to do one ghost story a day, but with that short, I'll do a couple more. Plus, like I said, Ethan's here and it's almost his bedtime, so he'll be wanting to go sleep soon. Okay, this one is called Nunchucks. Michelle Foret Young had a strange experience with her 2-year-old daughter, and this was submitted to Movie Pilot. When my daughter was 2, I found her twirling paper towel tubes, tried and trying in the air. I asked her what she was doing. She said she was practicing her nunchucks. I was very confused, as she had no way of knowing what they were. I asked her what she meant, and she said that Adam had taught her how to make them, and showed her each night how to use them. She went on to say that Adam told her to practice because she may need to know to defend herself someday. I almost freaked out, but asked her what Adam looked like. She said he was tall, blonde, and had blue eyes. She said, Mummy, you know how he looks. You know him. He died of heartache. I had to leave the room. You see, 4 months before she was born, my tall, blonde, blue-haired, martial arts pro friend had died of a brain aneurysm at the age of 27. She has not spoken of him since that day, so I'm not sure if I scared her in my reaction, or if it had completed her lesson. That's sweet. It is scary, but it is also kind of sweet, the fact that a friend was like looking after her daughter, looking over her daughter. That's kind of sweet. This one is called The Someone Under the Bed. Sometimes the very short ghost stories that are the best, and this tale from Reddit by BuzzFeed tells his father putting his young son to bed. I began tucking him into bed, and he tells me, Daddy, check for monsters under my bed. I looked underneath for his amusement, and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's someone on my bed." I've heard that one told different ways. Like some it's a mother and daughter, some it's father and daughter, some when the parent looks underneath the bed, the other kid's dead, and then the doppelganger, skinwalker, kind of being kills the parent. I've heard that one a few times. I've heard different variations of it. This one is called The Chair. This short tale starts benign enough, with a friendly seeming ghost playing with children. But when you learn the origins of the ghost, and just why the ghost is moving the object around the room, it quickly gets a lot creepier. Submitted by Reddit by Scoop Hoop. When my sister Betsy and I were kids, our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favourite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother, because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some morning, Betsy and I would wake up, and on each of the nightstands we find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'll get thirsty during the night. She just wanted to take care of us. Among the home's original furnishings was an antique wooden chair, which she kept against the back wall of the living room. Whenever we were preoccupied watching TV or playing a game, Mother would inch the chair forward across the room towards us. Sometimes she managed to move it all the way to the centre of the room. We always felt sad putting it back against the wall. Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we moved out, I found a newspaper article about the farmhouse original occupant, a widow. She'd murdered her 2 children by giving them each a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she hung herself. The article included a photo of a farmhouse living room with a woman's body hanging from a beam. Beneath her, knocked out, was the old wooden chair placed exactly in the centre of the room. Oh, that's sad. Why did she kill her children? That is sad. Okay, this is the last one, and it's called The Ghost at Home. In one of my favourite short ghost stories, a man thinks he loses his phone, and someone is playing a trick on him. Turns out, there is somebody playing a trick on him, but it's a ghoul rather than a person. Submitted by Reddit. By BuzzFeed. Last night, a friend rushed me out the house to catch an opening act at a local bar. Music night. After a few drinks, I realised my phone wasn't in my pocket. I checked the table we were sitting at, the bar, the bathrooms, and after no luck, I used my friend's phone to call mine. It gave 2 rings, someone answered, gave out a low raspy giggle, and hung up, but didn't answer again. I eventually gave it up as lost, and headed home, where I found my phone lying on my nightstand, right where I left it. Oh! I've had a few experiences like that. Not with my phone, but other things like my Carstairs ring that midnight got me. It's very rare I take this ring off unless I'm having a shower or anything like that, or bath or anything, washing my hands. It's very rare I take it off. If ever you see me without it on in a video, it's because I've not long woke up, or I just took it off for a second, or just for a moment. But there was one day, and I've done a video on this before, but I was actually in this room, and I took my ring off and I just put it down on the side, on my bookshelves or something like that. I turned around to pick it back up and to put it back on, and it had gone. And I couldn't find it for a few days. I looked high and low for it. I looked all the places I usually put it to keep safe. It was just nowhere. And then out of the blue, I just looked on the floor and there it was. It had not been there. So yeah, I get the phone story. Although the phone, with the phone, that's never happened. That's a weird one. But for now, I'm going to say I love you lots and lots like jelly tots, and I'm keeping